Alright guys, Raw Russell here and I'm back today with my NXT Takeover Chicago review and what a wrestling show we had in store. Now I didn't watch the show live, I started the show during the UK title match, which was the second match on the show. I then watched the women's title match after it. I then went to bed because I was very tired. I watched the rest of the show this morning and I tell you what a wrestling pay-per-view we had here. This rivals that Orlando show earlier on in the year, which I thought was a great show. This had fantastic twists. This had a title change. This had stars in the making. And let's get into the show. The opening contest was Roderick Strong against Eric Young. Now, I watched this match last, so I've actually only just really finished this match. And this matchup was a great way to kick off the show. Roderick Strong was smart. He didn't come out and confront Eric Young one-on-one. He came through the crowd and took out Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf off the bat. Great stuff there. Roderick Strong, his story at the moment is breathtaking. This guy needs to be in the NXT title picture by the end of the year, or at least on WrestleMania weekend if you want to wait that long. I don't know if you can wait that long. He is so good in the ring. He's got a great story. He's just become a father. His life is amazing at the moment. He's a great babyface. They don't have a better babyface on their roster at the moment than Roderick Strong. And my throat's going. 1 second. This matchup did so much for his stock. Like, this really did. He fought all three members of Sanity, and the best part was he won. Like, he beat all three members of Sanity. He took everything that Eric Young had to throw at him. A wheelbarrow neckbreaker on the floor. He took Eric Young's signature elbow drop. Roderick Strong got a lot in, obviously. He got his knees, he got his kicks and stuff like that. But he took so much. He took a big splash on the floor from Killian Dane. He had to fight all three members of Sanity, and he won. In the end, Roderick Strong knees Eric Young, and he falls into Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf, sorry. He throws Eric Young in the ring. Eric Young stomps him in the face. Roderick Strong's like, no, you're not getting away with that. Knees him in the face, and then it hits him with end of heartache, which is the suplex into the backstabber. One of the best looking moves. Like, it's obviously, it was his finish in Ring of Honor. It's such a cool looking move. I'm so happy that they finally decided to debut it in NXT. Such a great opening match. 3 3/4 stars. A fantastic way to kick off the show. Roderick Strong, I can't gush enough about the lad. He seriously needs to be in that NXT title picture very, very soon. Because he is the best babyface, probably in the company. Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, they are not over like this lad is. They are not as good as this lad at the moment. This lad, he's not even a lad, he's like 34. But this man needs to be in that NXT title picture. Second match on the show, and we had the United Kingdom Championship, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate. This match was unbelievably great. This match was amazing. I read how good this match was before I watched it, and that was the reason I started with this match. This match was insane. Now, the match they had in the UK tournament final was brilliant. I'd probably give it 4.5 stars. This match was better. This match was well paced. This match didn't need to tell a story, but this was a fantastic introduction on a grand stage to both men. It was methodical. Both men hit their moves, and they gave time for selling. And I love selling in wrestling because it means something. It makes moves mean something. When Pete Dunne hit an X-Plex to Tyler Bate on the apron, he sold it, and it means that the move is over. It means the move hurts. The near falls in this matchup, it's probably the best perfection of near falls I've seen this year. Even Okada Omega was breathtaking with its near falls. This match here was so good with its near falls. Near falls off just great like lariats. There was a segment where they were just slapping each other and trading strikes, and that classic British style of William Regal and Fit Finlay was coming out with these two young men, the 23-year-old Pete Dunne and 20-year-old Tyler Bate, and they were slapping each other. And Dunne gives him a huge forearm, and Tyler Bate hits a Keka kick, which is like a rolling kick. And then Dunne comes out with, I believe it was a big thumping lariat, and goes for the cover 1-2. That's a near fall. Near falls don't just have to be off finishing moves. These two men made every pin they had believable that it could be the finish. Pete Dunne at one point, he went for the X-Plex, but decided halfway through, I'm not going to hit that. He went for the X-Plex and hit a big power bomb. So he did a suplex lift into a power bomb, basically. Such a great near fall again. These two men perfected their craft in this matchup. 23 years old and 20 years old, and they had this match on this NXT show. And yes, the crowd were loving every second of this. There were fight forever chants. The crowd ate this match up. Tyler Bate hit a big corkscrew 450 for another great near fall. He went for the Fosbury flop outside. Pete Dunne dodged. Tyler Bate basically went face first into the floor on the outside. Dunne rolled him in, hit the bitter end, one, which is a pump handle flatliner. 1, 2, 3. We have a new United Kingdom champion. Pete Dunne is my second favourite wrestler in the world at the moment, behind Kazuchika Okada. He is breathtaking in the ring. He is 23 years old. He can only get better from here. This match, I'm going to give 5 stars. This is the match you need to go out of your way to see. This match was stunning. Absolutely stunning. This is the best match WWE have put on all year. This was perfection for near fall specifically. It had great selling. It had great psychology. This match didn't really need that story because we don't know the men enough to really get their stories. But this match, psychology, selling, and near falls. Perfection. 5 stars. Awesome match. Now, sadly, the problem was that this match killed the crowd weren't dead for the next match, which was the women's title triple threat. Asuka, Ruby Riott, and Nikki Cross got there in the end. The crowd weren't dead, but they definitely were kind of blown out, and they did get back up for the NXT title match after it. I thought these 3 women had a very good match. There wasn't a lot of one-on-ones, though, which I think was very smart, because that does keep either of these women as a potential one-on-one challenger for Asuka, or even Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross could have a match at Brooklyn or the next TakeOver show. I think that would be a very good way to pad the card. I think that could be a good match. Ruby Riott looked better in this matchup than she has in any match. She looked a lot slicker. She looked a lot smoother. Her power bombs and everything. Well, not her power bombs. The way she was taking moves, her bumping looked a lot better than it has in basically any other match she's had in NXT to this point. Nikki Cross is always good. The fisherman neck breaker, off the ropes. It's such a sick move. She hit that on Asuka. Just, it didn't quite get there. They didn't quite get to that great level that we were used to our women getting in NXT. And to be fair, I don't think we've had a great women's... Well, obviously Ember Moon, I thought, had a great women's match with Asuka at Orlando. We haven't had a really, really above 4-star woman match in quite some time. So it'd be nice to get one of those in Brooklyn, maybe, if Ember Moon's challenging for the belt. She was obviously looking on. Asuka here was great. Asuka is one of the best women's workers in the world. I don't care if you're getting bored of her. She is perfection in the ring. She has the best kicks. She is a technical mastermind in that ring. She puts her matches together so slickly. She is just a genius. Like, she's so smart. She knows what she's doing better than, I think, any women's wrestler in the company. Maybe there's, Lo Shirai in the world that has better psychology than Asuka. And in the end, basically, what happened was, I think Ruby Riott was pinning Nikki Cross. Asuka got in the ring. Ruby Riott, I think Nikki Cross kicked out and basically kicked Ruby Riott's head forward. Asuka with a sick knee to the face of Ruby Riott. And then she pins both women. Now, a couple of people are kind of down on this finish. I thought this finish was brilliant. I thought this just put Asuka over. Asuka needs to be put over. She is unbeaten in nearly 2 years. October marks the 2-year debut of her. So, I honestly think, I know that Brooklyn's in August. I think we should save her loss for next Mania weekend. I'm not even lying. I'm not even joking. I think at Brooklyn, give Asuka Nikki Cross or Ruby Riott. I'd probably go Nikki Cross. I think that is a heel against a heel. But I think those 2 women can have a hell of a match. And then if you're doing a takeover in December, which I don't think you will be, because you'll be doing maybe the Rumble weekend. If you are doing the Rumble weekend, then give her Ruby Riott, and then give Ember Moon to her in Mania weekend. You don't want to make it the main event. I was going to say make it the main event. I don't know why, but give Ember Moon the shot again a year after she lost. Have her take the belt, because then Asuka's gone on a 2.5-year winning streak, and she's going to go to that main roster red hot. She's going to be absolutely... And then on the main roster, you need to do the same thing. You need her unbeaten. Like, she needs to destroy every woman on the roster. I'm going to give the match 3.5 stars. It was very good. It was very well booked, in my opinion. There was a couple of sloppy bits, which is why it only gets 3.5. But very good match. Very good match. Next up, we had the NXT title, which meant the tag titles were main event in the show. And when you hear what happened, or you probably already know, you'll know why then. You'll know why the tag titles needed to main event, really. And it was a ladder match, so it really did need to main event. NXT title, Hideo Itami, Bobby Roode. Hideo Itami's best performance in NXT. This match was great. It really did help Hideo Itami so much. But I think this did more for Bobby Roode. I think Bobby Roode was destroyed. Like, Hideo Itami was the aggressor in this match. He really took Bobby Roode to task with kicks, and he obviously worked over to the midpoint of the matchup, worked over the shoulder of Bobby Roode to the point where Roode had trouble hitting the glorious DDT on a couple of occasions, which was great. Roode obviously hit a spinebuster, Itami hit a hesitation dropkick, stuff like that. Eventually, Roode would somehow, I believe, where the finishing segment was really great, and that bumped my grade up for this match. They were outside of the ring, and Roode was leant against the steps, and Itami went for a hesitation dropkick into Roode. Roode moved, so Itami hit the steps, injuring his, I believe it was right ankle, which I thought was good. Sorry, just got to clear. Okay. Roode rolled him in the ring. Itami went for the GTS, but his leg buckled. Roode hit him with the glorious DDT for a good 2 count. Not a great 2 count, but a good one. Roode went for another glorious DDT, but the injured shoulder prohibited him. Itami hit the GTS, which the crowd popped for in Chicago, of all places. But Roode would roll out of the ring. Itami rolled him back in. 1-2 kick out by Roode. The crowd still bought that as a near fall, which was great. Like, I honestly was like, that's a really good near fall. He went for the GTS again, which really cost him in the end, which I think is a great story. The fact that he wanted to hit that GTS in Chicago, we all know why. He wanted to win with it in Chicago as well. Again, we all know why. So I think Roode countered out of that, went for the glorious DDT, and Itami just ended up slapping Bobby Roode in the face several times, just beating the shit out of Bobby Roode. He went for that GTS again. He went for it. Roode jumped out, hooked him for that glorious DDT, got one, rolled through, got a second one with more impact. 1, 2, 3. It shows respect from Bobby Roode to not go for one, but to hit a second one just to be sure that Itami was down, knowing that Itami would get up after another one. What a match. Great match. Wasn't like this amazing match. This was a great match. 4 stars. Bobby Roode retains the NXT title. He is becoming such a good worker in NXT. He's working with Nakamura. He's working with these Japanese guys. He's getting their style. And Bobby Roode's selling in this match was perfect. Seriously. I thought it was, maybe a little bit exaggerant with the screaming. But I thought the fact that he kept selling it, he kept holding his arm. And even in the finish after the matchup, did the glorious thing with only one arm. Perfect from Bobby Roode. 4 stars, a great NXT title match. Not as good as the Nakamura matches, but great, and Itami's best performance in NXT. And then we move on to the main event. I've got no notes, by the way, guys, so I'm just throwing stuff at the wall. Main event, NXT Tag Team title ladder match. DIY against the Authors of Pain with Paul Ellering. This match was balls to the walls insane. It wasn't the best match on the show, but it was the second. This match was so great. Just a bunch of ladder shots. And really, DIY had the Authors of Pain at the beginning. The stipulation worked for them. They just used the ladder shots to keep both Authors of Pain down, but they couldn't climb the ladder. They weren't fast enough. The Authors of Pain kept going. They kept going. Their durability saved them. And it got even crazier when they did the double ladder spot. So there's 2 ladders bridged on the barricade here and here. And there's a ladder in the middle. And the Authors of Pain are on those ladders. And Ciampa's one side, Gargano's the other side. They both jump and splash the Authors of Pain through the ladders. Ciampa went through one of them on the ladder. Gargano didn't. He sort of hit him and then bounced off him, and it looked like he died. It looked like he spiked himself. Crazy spot there. Then, in an even... I just loved the fact... I loved the bit where the Authors of Pain took over. They destroyed Ciampa and Gargano to the point where Gargano and Ciampa were like, oh my god. Like they're going to die. Like, it was bad. Ciampa and Gargano. And then Gargano was outside of the ring after he'd super kicked Paul Ellering, which pissed the Authors of Pain off to no end. Seriously pissed them off. They literally, Gargano was out of the ring and they just took the frustrations out of Ciampa. They killed him with the ladder, they killed him with everything. And they were going to hit him in the face with a ladder. They both had a ladder like that, they were going to hit him in the face with a ladder. And Gargano rushes in, he pushes Ciampa out of the way. The Authors of Pain realise that Ciampa's been pushed out of the way. Ciampa looks at Gargano and is like, oh my god, no, you didn't just do that. The Authors of Pain crack Gargano in the jaw. Gargano sells it absolutely beautifully. And Ciampa just looks at Gargano like, oh my god. Oh no, my friend has just been dead. And that is very important for what happens after the match. The fact that Gargano was willing to take that bullet for his friend. He was willing to take it. After everything he'd been through, the fact he was willing to take that bullet for his friend was so cool. And it was like, oh my god, these guys are best friends. He would do, like, that was so cool. That honestly made me, like, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, no. And Ciampa is, like, on the ground when Gargano just isn't moving. And Ciampa's just like, no. So Ciampa, Akam and Razor are climbing the ladders, and Ciampa just gets pissed. So he gets behind Akam, there's a ladder in the corner, and he German suplexes him through that ladder in the corner. Now, it's obviously a ladder that's supposed to break easily, but that was an awesome spot. And then, towards the finish, there was a second ladder up here, there was the ladder up obviously in the middle, and basically, Ciampa fell off his ladder. Ciampa got off his ladder, pushed Gargano's ladder, which was the one here, into this ladder. So Gargano jumped there, he punched Rezar off the ladder, and Gargano was alone to get the titles. That was a... Wait, no, sorry, I've got this wrong. That was the bit where he got off and super kicked Paul Ellering. In the end, Akam had the ladder like this, doing the like helicopter spin. Gargano and Ciampa meeting in the middle on him with the ladder on his head, which I thought was a really smart spot. They both climbed the ladder. The Authors of Pain kicked the ladder out from underneath them. They hit a powerbomb, hit the Super Collider, hit a second powerbomb, and then both Authors of Pain climbed the ladders and retrieved the NXT Tag Team titles. What a match. What a story. What a match. The Authors of Pain are becoming such a great team. They seriously are. I was so down on them when they ended. They were boring, they were stale, they were very immobile. Now they are fantastic. And it's not just because they're working with DIY anymore. They are becoming a great team because they are working with DIY. Not they are a great team because they are working with DIY. They are becoming a great team because they are. Great match. 4.5 stars I'm going to go on that one. Really awesome stuff. Check that match out. Check the whole show out, obviously, but check that match out specifically. And then after the match, now, I thought that Ciampa would turn heel. I thought he'd turn heel in the ring. I thought he'd do a spot with a ladder and whatever. But as, of course, they were walking up the ramp and the logo came up, I was like, no, we're going to end the show with a curtain call, and the crowd are going to chant DIY to end the show. And both men look at each other and they say something, and I want to know what they said. Because Ciampa grabs Gargano's head, throws it into the set, beats the hell out of him, hits him with a running knee, and then a great callback to the CWC match, which I loved. He pulls down the knee pad, and then pulls down the second knee pad, and hits him with a second knee, which he didn't do in the CWC, because these two men aren't friends anymore. And then Ciampa puts Gargano on the table, and gives him an air raid crash off the announce table, through some tables, near the announce table, off the stage, basically. This is such a great story. Like, seriously, this story's been brilliant for months. If you watched Ciampa's expressions, if you watched his body language, he's been sort of turning on Gargano. He is basically just, if you just look at the guy, like, it's been boiling inside him that he doesn't want to lose anymore. And by getting rid of Gargano, maybe he can go on and be the next top heel in NXT. I think this made him the top heel in NXT. I thought this was a breathtaking heel turn. I don't think in my lifetime I've seen many better heel turns. Really, I don't. Seth Rollins was a shocking one. This one here was not shocking, but this was truly well done. And if this is the end of DIY, look at the road they had. They had amazing matches with the Revival. They had amazing matches with the Authors of Pain. And that is how you end NXT Takeover Chicago. I'm going to give this show a 10 out of 10. This was an amazing wrestling show that every wrestling fan needs to check out. This is what NXT is best at. It's best with its pure wrestling, when really the show didn't tell a lot of story. Now, the matches, as I just said, they didn't have a lot of story to them. I thought the main event had excellent story, with Gargano and Ciampa being the best of friends and taking bullets for each other, and then in the end, obviously, Ciampa turning on Gargano. This show had tremendous wrestling, tremendous psychology, and tremendous selling, and great near falls throughout the night. 10 out of 10. Amazing wrestling show. Check out the whole show. Please check out that UK title match, because I gave it 5 stars. Check out that main event, 4.5 stars. You know, the NXT title match, 4 stars. 3.5 stars to the women, and then 3 3/4 to the opener. This is a show you need to watch. That's all I've got, guys. Thanks for watching. This has been Raw Slot. I do just want to say I'll probably be putting a video out a little bit later. Pop vinyl pickups video. I've got my pop vinyl on my shelf right here, ready to show you. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Raw Slot. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think to NXT Takeover Chicago? What did you think to the main event? What did you think to Tommaso Ciampa's heel turn? What do you think was the best match on the show? What did you think to the United Kingdom title match? What do you think to our new champion, Pete Dunne? How good do you think Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate can be? And, of course, what did you think to the NXT Women's title and NXT title match? Also, who is the top babyface in NXT? To me, it is, of course, Roderick Strong. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Revolver Wrestler.